making the rounds. You get much sleep the last couple of days?
I didn't after the game. It's been a little bit better the last couple of days, but yeah, time to move on. It was a good win, but there's plenty of season left.
How do you bring a team down from something like that? I mean, that's a really, really high, especially from the standpoint of what the program has accomplished too, right? How do you process bringing the team back down and getting to the next task?
I think the schedule makers were our friend in this case, in that it wasn't a Wednesday where we had to go right back to practice on Thursday. So, we had the day off Tuesday, and then we just did some skill work with the top guys, minute guys yesterday, and then worked everybody else out. So they've had a couple days to kind of recalibrate. And we watched some St. John's film yesterday, and as you're watching that film, you see what the score is. We were down 9 with 8.5, 9 minutes to go, and we're down 1 inside of a minute of that game. So we understand how talented they are.
Mac, you threw the ladder on the board before the does that help in keeping the guys focused?
Yeah, I mean, I think what it does is it just every game's important, and every game's impactful this time of year. Whether you're playing a Georgetown team who's on the top of the bottom of the league, or a Connecticut team who's not only on the top of the league, they're one of the best in the country. They can all have an impact one way or the other depending on what happens. So, fortunately, we've been able to take care of business, and now we've got 4 important ones left.
Do you think there's any benefit to the team playing after guarding a couple hours before the test?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the new guys, certainly, we're going to stay at the same place we stay when we're there for the Big East tournament. So understanding that routine, but we're flying in Saturday afternoon. It's an early game, and we're out of there, so we won't be there a long time. But having the guys being able to get into the Garden and get a little bit more comfortable and familiar has to be a positive.
What did you make of the way St. John's responded to kind of getting challenged and taking the task the way they were?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised. That team is, they lost the Seton Hall game, but they had a 19-point lead. They lost at Marquette, but they're up double digits in the second half. So if you're talented enough to do that, you're not far away from putting it all together. So, I think they're dangerous in that regard. Obviously, Coach Pitino's been at this a long time. He's forgotten more basketball than I'll ever know. So he knows what he's doing, and obviously he's one of the best motivators in the game. So I'm not surprised they came out and played pretty well against Georgetown.
You remember your first time in the Garden? What was that like?
Oh yeah, it was. It's really cool. I mean, it's. I think you ask every NBA player what their favorite place to play is, and 99% of them will tell you the Garden. So to go in there the first time as a coach, was pretty incredible. It's massive. There's so much history there, and it's just it's a beautiful, beautiful facility. So, not everybody gets a chance to do that, and I've been fortunate to coach on that floor a lot of times and watch my son play there a few times, which was okay as well.
Look back at the first St. John game. What are some of the keys that you'd like them to just make sure it doesn't come down to a last shot?
Yeah, well, if it comes down to last shot and we win, I'm fine with that. Winning by 1 is just great in my book. But we have to handle their pressure, right? That's what they do. It comes at you in droves, and you have to be ready for it. They're one of the best mid-range shooting teams in the country, and that's what our defense forces people to do. So it puts us in a little bit of a predicament in terms of some of our coverages and how do we adjust that if we're having trouble with it. So, part of the reason that game was as competitive as it was is, St. John's kind of solves what we do defensively and what the core of our defense is, because they have so many guys that are effective in that mid-range.
The way you're playing right now, I know this business is only as good as your next one, but it certainly seems like you guys are heading towards that at the right time phase of this season. What do you think has allowed you to get to this point and play at this level?
We have some older guys. Stevens certainly has found his groove. Took a little while, like it has with most of our guys that have been new to our program. But I've got some veteran guys in Baylor and Trey and Paul, Bello, Steven now that have played a lot of college basketball. And we're doing a good job of managing their minutes in practice to make sure they're fresh for games. Ben and Jeremy have been terrific in that regard. And it's allowed them to play big minutes and still be very effective while other teams are running guys in and out. Our guys are playing a lot of minutes, and their efficiency numbers are not dropping as a result of that. So, you always hope that you're building for February and March, and you could have a bad game. We had an awful game in the Big East tournament against Xavier last year. It happens once in a while. You hope it doesn't happen this time of year, but the reality of it is there's always a chance of that.
Twice this year, Butler, UConn, where you've gone from massive responsible offensively to defensively the second time around. Do you credit that to what you guys have scouted, seen, learned on games? What has it?
I mean, Butler they were elite in their shot making the first time, and we didn't change a tremendous amount defensively with what we did. We tried to do some of the things a little bit better, and also they played better defensively than they did the first time as well. So while we were able to get the victory, our defense was more where I thought it'd be. UConn, we actually played better defensively at their place than we did here. In terms of their effective field goal percentage and some of the looks that they got to the rim a little more than I would have liked. But we did an elite job of getting Caravan and Spencer off the three-point line, not giving them attempts. That's a big part of their offense, and we took that away and made them go to something else. But we've been able to do that both times we played them.
Thanks.
Thank you.